Welcome back to Wheatfields to Wonderland blog audio podcast. This week I'm sharing a story with you called 10 Reasons the Dating Pool Sucks in Los Angeles. And I'm sure that no matter where you live, there are reasons why dating is hard. I mean, dating in 2016 is not an easy task. I don't think it matters if you live in England, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Istanbul. It's a challenge. But here's why. This is Janelle's version of 10 Reasons the Dating Pool Sucks in LA. How can the dating pool suck in a city as large as Los Angeles? The combined population of the greater LA area is estimated at about 18 million people, and the city of Los Angeles alone boasts around 4 million people. So you would think in a city with 4 million people that I could find a soulmate. I mean, it's not like I'm still living in Brandon, Manitoba, where there are only 46,000 people living. With all of the millions of men out there, why the hell can't I find just one? Well, the first reason. 1. Distance is the devil. In a town where 5 miles can take 50 minutes in traffic, distance becomes a real issue in dating. I was at an Oscar party last year and met a really cute assistant director who really liked me and followed me around like a puppy dog all night. When I found out that he lived in Thousand Oaks, the friend I was with said, "Janelle, you hate driving, especially on the freeways. Do you really think that you're going to drive 30 miles to meet up with a guy?" Well, he was cute, and I did think about it for a day or two, but truthfully, unless he had a helicopter pad at his house and was going to fly me in, this was a relationship that was never going to work. For a minute, I even tried dating a guy in Santa Monica, and his place was only about 9 miles from my house. But in rush hour traffic between 3:30 and 7:30 p.m., I could get lucky and make it in 50 minutes, or get unlucky and it could take 90 minutes. I hated the drive to him, and he hated the drive to me. And, well, we kind of ended up hating each other, so it didn't ultimately matter. Driving to the airport and flying to see a guy in New York sometimes seems easier than the 10 to the 405 to the, well, ugh. Okay, the second reason. Proximity princess. You see, because I hate to drive far distances, and since I prefer my quality free time not to be spent behind the wheel of my car, my princess mentality has kicked in, and I'm really only now dating guys who live in a close proximity to my part of town. I am sticking to my 5-mile radius, so to speak. That radius is composed of Beverly Hills, West Hollywood, Westwood, and Culver City, 4 wonderful cities whose combined population is approximately 155,000 people. Okay, so it's not 4 million, but still bigger than the dating pool back in Brandon, Manitoba. But there still seems to be a problem finding a mate. Why? The third reason. Demographic disadvantages. Okay, assuming that half of the 155,000 people are men, that still gives me 77,000 potential men to pull from. However, West Hollywood is the gay center of Los Angeles. As a result, I have many wonderful husbands, but in reality, my dating pool has now dwindled down to about 60,000 eligible men. Fourth reason, married dudes. Out of the remaining 60,000 men, how many of them are single? I am guessing by the number of married men I know, plus the ones that hit on me constantly, that at least half of them are married. As lonely as it can be when you are single, I am not into sharing my clothes, let alone my guy's junk, with another girl. So that brings down my dating pool to approximately 30,000 guys. Fifth reason, rich player boys. Okay, so I do live in a high net worth part of town. It is expensive as fuck to live here. Many of the men are so busy trying to build successful careers that they don't have time to invest real energy into fostering a relationship. So they become serial daters, going from one girl to the next, and whenever the girl starts to demand more from them than they can offer her, they dump her and head back on their serial dating path. Their focus is success, not relationships. Plus, sex is easy for guys with money here. There are so many beautiful girls who come from all over the world to be famous. And when becoming famous is a harder task than they thought, Many of these girls resort to hanging out with wealthy men just so they can support themselves. The rich player boys are more than happy to date these girls, and these relationships become guilt-free hookups. Men get sex, girls get security, becoming a guilt-free even exchange. If I were to guess, maybe a third of my eligible dating pool are rich player boys. So now I'm down to 20,000 guys. The sixth reason, struggling artist. The industry, as we like to call the entertainment industry in Los Angeles, draws in as many talented, handsome, and hot single men as it does beautiful women. These guys spend their days and nights waiting tables, driving Uber, or hell, working as escorts, all while honing their craft and waiting for their big break to occur. What does this mean for me? It means that if I date one of them, that I'm likely going to be dating a broke boy, unless he is an escort, and that's just plain icky. And after having dated my share of hot, cute, struggling hopefuls, I realize at this point in my life, I need someone who has less problems than me. Therefore, my dating pool has now dwindled down to about 15,000 eligible men. Okay, the seventh reason, boy toys. Yeah, boy toys. Cute younger men, guys who might be successful in their career or not. Younger men, 10, 15, or 20 years younger, are always going to be a visual distraction. Hello, I am human after all. Regardless, they are way too young to be taken seriously. Unless you want to be labeled a cougar or just want to play, then the boy toys are not an option. If you want a real relationship, like what I'm searching for, a boy toy is only a distraction. As my ex-boyfriend once told me, Janelle, you need a man with a plan, not a boy who wants a toy. So now, I likely have about 10,000 potential prospects left in my dating pool. Okay, the eighth reason, old fuckers. Okay, sorry, but if too young is going nowhere, old fuckers are definitely going somewhere, like to a retirement home. Sure, they may have financial security and maybe can pay for your dinners and buy you nice gifts. But do you really want to see them naked? Do you really want to be looking for a car in the next decade or two that is wheelchair accessible? If you date someone who's 15 or 20 plus years older than yourself, guess what? They are 15 to 20 years older than you. So when you are 30, 45 or 50-year-old men are still handsome and distinguished looking. But imagine someday when you hit 60, dating daddy takes on a whole new look. Picture grandpa. Now, as I'm looking for someone who can dance, ski, and eat solid foods, I just can't date an old fucker. So now my dating pool is down to, 5,000 men or less. Reason number 9, shiksa shit. One of the best things about Los Angeles is that we are a cultural melting pot of various ethnicities and religions. This makes for a wonderful, diverse group of people, amazing cultural opportunities, and offers a vast array of fabulous restaurants and various foods at your fingertips. Plus, there are hot foreigners to date, intriguing worldly men who can introduce you to different ways of life and thinking. Sounds great, right? Well, I'm still an old-fashioned girl, and in my experience, relationships work out better when it is a man who pursues a woman. So I tend to let the boys come to me. My 5-mile radius happens to be very full of people from the Jewish faith. Trust me, 80% of the men I have dated are indeed Jewish. And what has ended up happening? Most of them won't marry me because I am not Jewish. But dating the shiksa is cool. And the ones who have wanted to marry me ended up not being right for me. So now I have to find a guy that doesn't mind if I have a Christmas tree. That cuts my dating pool down again. Fuck, I'm down to about 2,500 men now. And the 10th reason. So now, here I am with 2,500 hopeful bachelors, somewhere in my age range and employed. I have to hope that out of the bunch of men that our paths will somehow cross in a city where everyone drives a block instead of walking, or we will bump into each other in a city where people don't really approach each other in real life, or we'll be magically hanging out at the same gym, bar, restaurant, and somehow manage to meet. But if we do manage to meet, then I still have the hurdle of wanting to be attracted to him physically, finding him intellectually stimulating, and hoping that he's emotionally available. Basically, I am fucked. So the moral of this sucky LA dating pool story is, 1, dating is hard everywhere, and just because the population is higher doesn't necessarily mean that your chance of finding your perfect match is any easier. 2, plus, unless I'm going to date outside of my 5-mile radius and deal with long drives and less free time, I better change my name to Patience. And 3, speaking of patience, the more I read, write, and think as I write this blog, the more I realize that the right person will come to you in your life when you are the best you can be. So maybe it really doesn't matter how many men you have to choose from, or how many women, for that case. Maybe it only matters that you choose yourself and let the rest fall into place. Mwah! Well, I hope you enjoyed this story this week about 10 reasons why the dating pool sucks in LA. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you have any suggestions of what I should do other than expand my dating pool, I'd love to know about it. But I hope everybody has a great week, and hang in there, be happy.